Hey everyone, I'm Manny Valerio, and welcome to my place-based learning video. I did my place-based learning video at Shuswap Provincial Park. It's located between the Adams Lake and Shuswap Lake along the Adams River, about 15 minutes northeast of Kamloops in the Columbia Shuswap, residing in the traditional lands of the Secwepemc peoples. The park spans quite a ways, but my visit was actually just the main site. Not my backyard per se, but it is a place with a lot of meaning and importance to me that I visit multiple times each year with camping out in the Shuswap. It's a bit of a family tradition to camp out in the Shuswap each year. Plus, it was a great excuse to take my dog Wally for a walk and for us to get out to the city for the afternoon. A bit of history about the park. It was established in 1977. It was formerly called Roderick Haig Brown Provincial Park. Roderick was an outdoorsman, logger, fisherman, and conservationist and had a passion for educating people about the importance of protecting the environment and the salmon. The name was actually changed back in 2018 in an effort to reflect the Indigenous importance and heritage of the site. Shuswap translates to many rivers from the Secwepemc language. Historical Secwepemc ties to the area can still be seen today via kekules, or pit houses, artifacts, and pictographs that are still on the site. The key social studies curricular competency I would be developing here would be significance. Specifically, significance from social studies grade 3, which states, explain why people, events, or places are significant to various individuals and groups. This land was and still is a massive part of Secwepemc people's heritage and culture. The plaques throughout the site are informative to introduce students to the historical Indigenous ties to the area, but I would also encourage the students to do more research on the land's importance from an Indigenous perspective so they can gain a better understanding of its importance. As such, there are a great many ties to the First Peoples principles of learning that can be applied to this place-based learning experience. Perhaps more than the others, though, it would most likely be learning recognizes the role of Indigenous knowledge. Learning is embedded in history and story. Learning ultimately supports the well-being of the self, the family, the community, the land, and the ancestors. And learning is holistic, reflective, experiential, and relational. Focus on connectedness, on reciprocal relationships, and a sense of place. As far as the age range for this place-based learning, it can really be from kindergarten to grade 7. There's a lot of knowledge opportunities in this park, from learning just about the basic history, discussing how and why the name was changed and the process that was required to pay tribute to its Indigenous significance. The main big ideas I would touch on would be Social Studies 3, learning about Indigenous peoples nurtures multicultural awareness and respect for diversity, and also Social Studies 3, Indigenous societies throughout the world value the well-being of the self, the land, and the ancestors. The top activity to do in this site would be to go during the salmon run for sure. Around October, and ideally with an elder from the Secwepemc community to talk with our students as we walk through the site about the significance of the area and the salmon run to the Indigenous peoples. It'd be awesome to have that perspective shared in the actual place itself to help students envision themselves in the time before it was a park as the elder is speaking to the class and help them understand why it was so important to them. The question I would advise the students think about for further activities and discussions back in the classroom is to think why these sites are so important to be protected from development in their own opinion, and why it's important to give proper recognition to Indigenous heritage. I believe it would also be fun to do a scavenger hunt activity in the area where the students would need to roam the site to find particular pieces of information from the information plaques on the site in general to complete a worksheet. The students could be split into groups with their parent helpers leading through the paths of the park in order to find all the information. This would encourage them to fully explore the park and not to just say, spend all the time at the viewing platform, because there's a lot more interesting and beautiful sights to see. With that being said, definitely proper provisions would need to be in place in order to ensure the safety of the students as well as appropriate behavior and respect is given to the site. As mentioned before, parent helpers or teacher aides would be required to accompany the class on the field trip to help lead them and make sure they're staying within the safe and designated walking trails. Students would be reminded before leaving the school and arriving on the site that while it's really exciting and engaging, it's also incredibly important to respect. This means no running off into the bushes, no breaking off branches, no going near the water whatsoever aside from the paths that are designated for us. No throwing items into the water and disturbing the salmon ecosystem in any way. Students who do not follow these rules will get no warnings before being accompanied back to the bus to wait for the rest of the class to be finished. Students will also be reminded before and upon arriving of our roles as visitors and observers of the space, and to leave no trace in order to preserve the site. Thanks for watching my place-based learning video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't been to Chutchwek Provincial Park, you should definitely check it out. I highly recommend it.